How would you like to take 16 cents and turn it into a $600 eBay sale? I'm going to show you how I did exactly that and how you can too. But I'm not going to stop there. I'm also going to show you a $400 eBay sale, a $300 eBay sale, a $100 eBay sale, and more as we go over the top 10 most expensive items that sold in my eBay store for the month of April 2021. And each one, I'm going to identify an important tip that could help you maximize your profits on the platform. So let's get rid of this spare change. Love that noise. And we're going to start at number 10 and move our way back up to number one. So let's start here. This is the Corgi die-cast plane set that I showed in a recent estate sale video. I told you to pay attention to that brand. If we look inside, you're going to see here we've got this Korean warplane. Everything is there that you need to display it. It is complete. Fortunately for me, it is also out of print, and there is no one else who had it for sale at the time I had it, and no one that had sold it recently on eBay. So, what do you do in that situation to find a price? Well, of course, you have to look off the platform, do a search on Google, and I found a die cast company that had sold this in the past for about half of the sale price that you see there. So what I did was I more than doubled the price to $59.99. That left me a little wiggle room to take a best offer of $53. So the key concept is that if you are the only one that has an item that's out of print, out of production, no longer made, and you see a prior sold comp anywhere, don't set that as your price. You could double it or even go beyond that and still make that sale and maximize your profits. So let's go on to number nine. These are the letters of the alphabet and the numbers, but they're not just any set of letters and numbers. They are the 1971 Mattel Tough Stuff letters and numbers. And you could see that I could tell that because we have the bag here. And if you look over here, you'll see the brand name Mattel. I always tell you to look for vintage Mattel. And as you can see, it's very easy to spot because the logo looks like a big red sun and it has the name Mattel written right across it. And it's even stamped on the block itself with the year. So that's very helpful. The key concept, besides all of those things that help generate this sale, I picked these items up for $5 or so at a garage sale, sold it for $55, is the layout. You notice that the layout is symmetrical. That's important. The human brain loves symmetry. It likes to see things that are evenly spaced, and also that these are all in alphabetical and numerical order, which quickly helps the buyer figure out that everything that they need is there. You are eliminating the guesswork for them. The more you could eliminate guesswork, the quicker you could convert a customer into or a potential customer into a paying customer. You got to pay attention, by the way, to some of these because they could be easy to miss. So, for example, that letter Q has a very subtle bump at the end that it could easily be missed and mistaken for an O. And also, the fives could look like S's. So you got to be careful. And of course, you don't want to mix up your sixes with your nines. That would be a very big mistake. So you definitely don't want to do that. So pay attention to the details, folks. All right. So now we're going to move to number eight. And this is a lot of 12 manga books. I've showed manga books on my channel before in these video series. They are Japanese animation books. They look like this on the outside, basically a digest type of format. The key thing that I want to tell you about these, there's actually two things. Number one, when I normally show them, I'm showing you them as lots from a single title, like a whole bunch of Vampire Knights or a whole bunch of One Punch Man or a whole bunch of Scientific Railgun. So this shows you here proof because this is a $60 sale that mixed lots will still sell as long as the titles are popular. And this shows you a few that are popular, but also main concept I want to show you is that I obtained these for free. I had no cost of goods into them. How did I do that? I got them through consignment. A viewer, Zach, who might be watching this right now, had these and just wanted to get rid of them. asked me if I would list it for him. I don't normally do that, but I did it as a favor to Zach. So we did a 60-40 split, and just easy work, and there you go, 60 bucks right there. And so consider consignment sometimes as a way of making some money on eBay. So you could do that for a neighbor, for example. I've done that as well. All right, so now we're going over here. We've got 5 boxes of steel picks. These are stemming picks that florists will use. I'll show you what it looks like in the inside here. You could see here they are metal. And as we get a little bit deeper into it, you could see another one here. And then we go down on a very, very individual basis here. And you could see that these could just be individually pried apart. And what happens is that they're used by florists when they are making floral decorations. And it helps to hold the flowers together so they're easier to work with. And even though you could see some staining on the outside ribbon, and you see here that we have also some staining on the metal itself, don't let that be something that makes you pass by an item like this and think that it's too damaged, because the picks themselves are used for functional reasons. They're not used for display. So as long as they still function, and when you pull them apart, they're going to function fine, they will still sell. That's an important concept. But another important concept is that these look boring on the outside, and you want to look for things that are boring, but also are unusual. You haven't seen them before, but it's the type of thing that a lot of other people can miss and not attach value to as a result of that. Not only the people selling to you, but also your competition. And if you could find a bunch of them available and pick them up as a lot, I got them for like $5 in a small box. There you go, $65 sale. So now we're going to go over to the next one. This is number 6, City State of the Invincible Overlord. I've always told you, make sure you're looking for the name Gary Gygax and the brand TSR, especially if it's in the 1980s. This is a role-playing box set. Now, importantly, this box set is incomplete. So as you can see over here, I say that it's missing the background and encounters book, but it's still sold for $70. Where did I get this? And I barely have anything invested into it. I got it through a storage unit buyout. But importantly, I didn't buy the actual storage unit itself. I bought the contents from a person or a couple who was overwhelmed after buying the storage unit content. So sometimes you could buy those storage unit contents secondhand and get a great deal on them. I'll link to the playlist up top where I showed you a lot of things, but not everything that was in those storage unit buyout boxes that I got. So let's move on to the next one. This here is the vintage Shaffer beer Nautical, a red and green light welcome sign. Now, you will come across these from time to time, but there's something very, very important that makes this one more than double the regular value of these nautical signs when you come across them. Now, before I tell you what that is, keep in mind that you could see here, this one lights up. If you remember the garage sale, actually, where I purchased this from, it was at the end of a very long driveway. And I got this for like 5, 10 bucks, and I needed to test out to see if it worked. And so I had to ask the owner, could I go back to the end of, where your garage is, walk all the way down the driveway, plug it in, see that it works. So that is very important to do that. Make sure you're testing out your items. But in terms of what makes this worth much more money than your average Schaefer nautical welcome sign, normally when you see them, the light is either all red or all green. It's very unusual to find a combination of half red and half green. And by doing the research on the item to figure that out, that helped me get a $95 sale on this item. So don't just do quick, superficial research and just throw a fast price on there. Do your research on the item. Take a little bit of extra time, but it's worth it in the money that you could get back on a lot of the stuff that you source. So let's go to the next item here. We're at this is some trade paperbacks. It's Batgirl. I love Batgirl. I do a lot of purchasing of trade paperbacks in bulk lots. A lot of people leave these behind. They don't think they're worth anything. They just stick with the original comic books. What do I mean by original comic books? Well, look on the side here. You could see that these are pretty thick books. If you haven't seen trade paperbacks before, they are collections of multiple comic books into one. And so a lot of people just like those because, they could just read them all in one setting and they don't have to worry about, handling multiple comic books and keeping them in their collection. This one here, Stephanie Brown, is hard to find, especially both of them together, 1 and 2 in one set, and, because of that, that allowed me to get $100 out of just these 2 books. Each of them, I have, like, 25 cents into in terms of, like, big bulk lot purchase. So, it's just you could get these things in massive bulk when you're buying out, collections. So, in fact, they probably even have less than that into it. So, let's go on to the next one, which is Thundercats. Now, this is the 1985 Thundercats series comic books. Many of you watching this may even have some of these laying around in your comic book collection. And if you didn't know, now is the time to pull these out and get these listed because just these three right here, which were not worth much at all just a few months ago, this wound up being a $300 sale for issues 1, 2, and 3. Why is that? Well, this relates to the key concept, paying attention to what is going on in the entertainment news. It was announced that they are going to make a Thundercats movie, and it looks like this movie is going to be awesome based on the people who are in charge of it. And so, based on speculation, that has jacked the price of these comic books up significantly. Also, pay attention here that you'll see here that we have a UPC code on the bottom, which makes this a newsstand edition. And those are generally more desirable by collectors than the direct edition, which has the star logo on the bottom. I might do a separate video about that one day, but right now, just know to pay attention to those UPC codes on these older comic books because that could really make a difference in price. And that's also something that helped move this price tag up to $300 for issues 1, 2, and 3. So let's move on to the next one here. This is number 2. We've got the $400 sale. This is Truth, Red, White, and Black featuring Isaiah Bradley, who you can see here. He's an African American super soldier who takes on the Captain America mantle, which is why you see Captain America there. I bought these for about cover price back in the day and just sat on them and invested into them, hoping that something would happen with the character one day. And that's actually what wound up happening. And that's one of the strategies I wanted to tell you about that a lot of people actually don't use, which is an investment strategy, keeping some items sometimes for multiple years as an investment like a stock, just waiting for the right time. And when the right time comes, that's when you list it. And this was definitely the right time because of the characters showing up in the Falcon Winter Soldier series. And then the interest and speculation about the character just exploded. And I decided, all right, this is the time, put it up. And there you go, $400 sale. That leads me to the last item, the $600 sale. This is a Pokemon card here. It's specifically the Charizard card. Now, I want to show you something about this card that's very important. You see here that right around the edge of that yellow box is a shadow. Okay. If there was no shadow there, it would be called a shadowless card. That would make it worth more money. So look for there not being a shadow there from these older card sets from 1999. If it's a true first edition, it's literally going to say first edition right there to the left of where it says Pokemon Power. That's where you'll see it, or right by where it says Flame Pokemon, right in that general area, you'll see that. If it was that, if it was a first edition, or if it didn't have a shadow, it would be worth even more than this one. But this one I was able to get for 16 cents because I purchased it through a Craigslist ad that I post in my area where I say I'm looking for collectibles, comics, and Pokemon cards is one of the things. So someone reached out to me a couple years ago and said, "Hey, I have a binder of Pokemon cards. Would you be interested in it?" Now, keep in mind, and this is the important key concept, okay? And it applies to cards, it applies to all sorts of collectibles and all sorts of niches. If you don't know much about it, and I didn't, I don't know that much about Pokemon cards. At least I didn't back then. I know a lot more now, but when I purchased it, I didn't know that much. I knew that it was popular though, and I knew that it was growing and increasing in more and more popularity. So I wanted to get into it from an investment perspective. I knew about how much that I wanted to pay for a lot of cards based on just doing some research. And so I purchased a binder of 300 cards for $50, which is how I get that 16 cents per card. I knew also that of all the cards, the one that was the most popular is this guy right here, Charizard. So if you ever see this, if you don't know anything about Pokemon, this is definitely the card you want to see. This particular card, since it has a little bit of a bow to it, which you could see there down on the bottom, this would probably grade out at about an 8 on a scale of 0 to 10. I did not send it out to get graded because I didn't want to wait 9 months. And since I only had 16 cents invested into it, I was very happy to take the $600 sale. But again, key concept, know what's popular, know what's trending, get basic knowledge about stuff, start researching it, start making some investments, and it's okay to learn along the way. You don't have to be 100% expert to start making some of these investments. And then down the road, you could turn these into big money flips just like this one. I never played Pokemon. I don't collect Pokemon. That didn't hold me back. So if you're holding back from investing into stuff like this or comic books or any other niche, if you're interested in it, you want to get into it, you can do it even though you're not an expert in it. So before you head off, folks, I want to just mention a friend of mine and a member of the channel, Alaina Schultz. She runs two eBay stores, Sunshine Vintage USA. I've got the links to them in the description section and in the comment section. You probably see her in the comment section a lot too, because she's always down there making funny comments. I do this for all members of the channel, in which I put a link to their eBay store in the description and in the comments. And also now for all members, I put a link in my Facebook group for 24 hours. Highlight your store to 26,000 members. This is something done for everybody, even down to the $1.99 membership level. So if you're interested in that, just click the join button to sign up for that and send me an email and I will get you included and on the list, folks. So hopefully the goal for that is that membership pays for itself because people in the Facebook group often make purchases during that event. So with that, everybody, I hope you found this video interesting. Share with me what your favorite tip was. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share the video as well. And I'll see you back the next one, everyone. Take care.